In this demonstration, we're going to look at managing device drivers. So device drivers are the bit of software that allows the Windows operating system to communicate with the underlying hardware. And to manage all of our device drivers, we have a control panel program called Device Manager. So I'll just click my Start button. I'm just going to come into Control Panel. Within Control Panel, I'm just going to find my device driver under Device Manager. So we'll just run this as administrator. So I just right clicked on Device Manager, run as administrator, and what we're going to do here is we're just going to have a look at our keyboards. So if we come to keyboards, within our keyboards what I have is I have my standard PS2 keyboard. And all I'm going to do at this point is I'm just going to right click and we're just going to have a look at the properties to start with. So in the case of the properties, we can see it's a standard keyboard, we can see location, so plug in the keyboard port, device is working properly, that's always good. If we look at the driver tab, on the driver tab I can have a look at the driver details. So we can see which files we're using for the device driver, so we'll select OK there. We can update the driver. What we can also do as well is we can roll back the driver if we've done an update and maybe it isn't working correctly. I can disable the device if it allows me to do it, and I can also uninstall the device as well. So maybe the reason why I'm uninstalling it is maybe it's got a hardware problem, maybe I'm actually removing it, maybe I just don't want the device to be functional at this present moment in time. So what we're going to do with our keyboard driver is we're going to update the driver. So there's a new version of this keyboard driver came out, so we'll just click on Update Driver. Then what I'm going to do is I can either search automatically for updated driver software or I can browse my computer for the driver software. So I'll click on Browse. Then what it's asking me at this point here, it's asking me where do I want to browse for this device driver. So I can get it, search a location, I can include all the subfolders. I actually want to let me pick from a list of available drivers on my computer. So it's going to go away and find the drivers. And at this point here, I'm just going to select my PC-AT Enhanced PS2 keyboard. We'll select our next button. See, we've updated the drivers, so now we can select Close. Now that I've installed this new driver, I have the ability to roll back the driver because I now have something different. So just to show we can, I will roll back my driver. And now I need to say, why am I actually rolling this back? So my apps don't work, previous version had better performance, previous version seemed more reliable, previous version had more features, or for another reason, and click on for another reason, it asks for a reason. So what I'm going to say is I'm going to go back to it because it had more features. So we'll roll that back, and we've now rolled back the driver back to its previous version because I didn't really like the new one. So we have the Details tab, and on the Details tab gives us details relating to the device. We can have a look at lots of properties within there. We can see any events that occurred. And if we look at the resources, we can see the hardware resources. So for example, we can see the interrupt request. We can see the memory location as well, so we can see exactly where that driver is working. So we'll just select Close at this point here. I'm not going to restart the computer at this point, so we'll just say no at this point here. Another thing we have with device drivers is we have a thing on our Windows operating system, or we have a location, is probably a better way to put it, called the driver store. Now the driver store is somewhere that we can import our inf files, which are our driver files, and then when we're updating hardware, we can get the Windows operating system to scan the file repository. So all I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to come into File Explorer. I'm then going to just go to this PC and go to my C drive. We'll expand up Windows. Then what we're looking for is the System32 folder. And within the System32 folder, what we're now looking for is we're looking for the driver store. And in the driver store, we're looking for the file repository. So as you can see, we've got lots and lots of files in here. So if we pull this across, lots of folders. Go into any of the folders, we can also see the files. So let's just go back to file repository. So one of the things I want to do at this point here is I want to copy some files, or what I want to do is I just want to have a look at information relating to a file called dc3dh, which is just a driver, and what we're going to do with that driver is we're going to put that driver into the file repository. So what we need to do is we just need to launch up Windows PowerShell. So all we're going to do is I'm going to come in Windows PowerShell admin, just because I need to run a utility to actually update the file repository. So I'm just going to change the font. Just make it a bit bigger to make it easier to read. And then what we have is we have a utility called pnputil.exe. So what we'll do is we'll just clear the screen off just to make it a little bit easier to read. And what we'll do is we'll now put in the command prompt to allow us to add a driver to the file repository. So now when we do a scan for new device drivers, it will read that inf file from the file repository, and then it'll give us that as part of the list it creates as part of adding the device drivers. So what I've done at this point here is I've typed in pnputil.exe /add-driver, and I'm adding a driver from d:/lab files /mod04 dc3dh and I'm just adding everything from that folder. So as we can see, it's now adding that driver package. It's added in the driver. So now that's in the driver repository, we don't have to locate the disk anymore to install that new hardware driver. We just pull it from the Windows operating system. And that's the end of this demonstration of managing device drivers in Windows 10. Thank you.